Imagine being a kid from Toronto, Canada, with a dream to one day make the world laugh as a comedian. You move to Los Angeles and the journey starts. With no clear vision of what life looked like after high school, you start experimenting by making music with your friends, rapping, and then eventually going into debt buying a bunch of camera equipment to make content. The app Vine comes out and you slowly start making comedy sketches and gain some traction, but not enough to change your life. Now you have to pivot. You start learning how to write code and get a job in tech, not knowing that you're about to meet your soon-to-be best friend and business partner. You both end up quitting your jobs and double down on the vision of creating content. Now with millions of followers and one of the most successful comedy podcasts in the world, you're touring as one of the best comedians of this generation. My name is VicBlends, and this is Deep Cut with Noel Miller.
Well, my twin.
Yes.
That's my twin.
It's time.
It's a pleasure,
It's time, dude. I grew my hair out, so you have something to work with.
Yeah, I got you. It's your first time growing it out?
Nah, man. But it's been a while. I don't think it's been this long since at least 10.
I said what it looked like when you were growing up.
Bad, man. A
Bad?
lot longer than this.
Who was cutting your hair?
Nobody.
Nah.
Literally nobody.
My mom used to cut my hair.
Yeah.
When I used to have real long hair, like coconut head. When I was growing up, I wanted like skater hair, so it was super long.
And my dad, I think, would let it go like past my eyes, and then he'd go, maybe it's time.
Yeah, I always wanted it past my eyes because I wanted it to be like flowy, but they would always give me bangs right over my eyes.
Yeah.
Bad. So how do you like your haircut?
I like to go for like kind of like a higher fade.
Higher?
Yeah, like 0, and then just like a little bit up top.
So like on the sides right here, do you like this curve on the side? Because like me, right here, I get no curve. I just go box down.
Lately, I've been leaving it more natural. So yeah, you can let it curl.
You know, I'm saying just like on this side of the edge, like how high I would take your fade.
Honestly, man, you call it. Whatever you think.
I got you, bro. Don't, say no more. Yeah, when your barber says say no more, you gotta just trust it.
Yeah, man. Hard cut to me.
All right, I got you.
Shaved right down the middle.
How long you think you're gonna end up growing it out for?
I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna let it flow. Try something different.
Yeah, it's a good look, man.
Thank you, man.
Elevated.
Yeah, but everyone said we were the same person when I was bald.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do that today.
I'm sorry, man. I juked you out.
You did juke me out. I was excited. I thought it would be a good photo in the end. All right, well, I'm gonna start it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back where I started, man. What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Noel Miller, and I would say I'm a stand-up comedian.
And you were born in Toronto.
I was.
And you grew up where?
I pretty much grew up in LA.
Yeah. Where do you claim? Like when people ask you where you're from?
I just say LA because it's easier.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does a Toronto fan base be like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
no, because I'm only Toronto by birth, but I don't have any Toronto-isms.
Yeah. When you moved to LA, was it love at first sight? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, it's all I've ever known.
All you
I think the more I hit the road and experience other places, it reinforces how much I love it here. Even growing up like within proximity of LA, it's you can get into like a lot of little subcultures and like little groups in the city, and I think that is what makes it like kind of special. One of my friends growing up, we all made music together, but he made beats, and we used to be a big fan of the Red Bull Big Tune, and that kind of inspired us to like kind of come out to the city and go to different beat battles.
Yeah, was music the first love you had?
I think I liked making it, but I wasn't very good at it.
Were you just producing?
No. I tried producing. I sucked at it. I like rapping. Me and my friends, we just made a decent amount of music growing up. I think performing it was where I had the most fun, but we'd perform as a group, and I'd always kind of open our sets like...
It's got to be good memories.
Yeah. I'd always chirp at the crowd, and my friends would have to stop me. They'd be like, all right, man, like, this isn't a stand-up show. And so I think I was always more fit for that, but I kind of found my way to that.
When did you know you wanted to be in entertainment? Was that real young, like, yo, I want to get into this because you're just seeing pops kind of do that?
No, I think, like, I was always naturally comfortable in front of groups. So my dad pulled out something that I made when I was in 6th grade, and it was like this little project we had to make, and one of the questions in it, it was like a autobiography, and it was all about the future. And one question in there was, what are you going to be when you grow up? and I said either an automotive journalist or an actor. So I kind of got close to that.
Yeah, you kind of do both now.
Yeah.
I see your news show, you're kind of driving
Yeah,
and
man.
doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So getting into high school, I mean, you say you started making music around, or what you said, 15?
Yeah,
so
15, 16.
in high school, did you have a plan of what life would look like after graduation?
No, I'm always kind of just like, I was definitely like living the moment type of person, which made things interesting because no one ever really like formally taught me about like college and applying to a college, and so when everyone was doing that, I didn't really get it. And then that's kind of when I started thinking like, oh man, I don't know if music or any of this is really gonna work out, because it was just like a hobby at that point. So that kind of took me down an interesting path. I ended up going to like just the only college I could really get into.
Yeah. Why though? Was it just you didn't, you know, I ended up not going to college, but
Yeah.
my parents were really trying to push for it because it's just the generational gap of this is how you're going to be successful. This is how you're going to start a career. You'll get a job and a retirement. But man, I just knew I was a hustler. So I thought that would be the first step. I had like signed up and ultimately decided last minute to go and, you know, chase something with barbering. But how did you actually end up going? Was it just outside influences?
Yeah, I think my dad, he never finished college, and he said, whatever you want to do in life, just have a degree in something. I don't care what it is, just have a degree.
That's my dad's same way.
So the school I got into, it had a decent business program.
Yeah.
And so I just went for that because they accepted a lot of people as well.
Yeah. So you knew you went for business. You knew like that would kind of be a direction for you?
Not really, honestly. I just thought, I think I understand business, or I have the capacity to, and I'll just kind of figure it out. And I ended up going for like 3.5 years. And weirdly, I dropped out in my last semester.
I would say you were damn close.
Yeah. I dropped out, and I kind of felt like I had this realization that even though I had the degree, I was still working a retail job.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have any direction. So there's this period of life where I bought up a bunch of camera gear. I actually went into a bunch of debt.
Buying the camera gear?
Yeah, like a lot of debt.
Why were you getting camera gear though?
Because I had originally applied to go to film school, but I didn't have the grades for it. So I kind of took it as this moment where I'm like, all right, let me see if I can make this work. So I bought up some camera gear, and my friends at the time, we would like shoot sketches, and we would, or at least we'd try, and then we shot out some like, back then there were a lot of ways to make money through like crowd-funded commercials.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and they were kind of like what brand deals were now, but instead you would shoot an idea and you would submit it publicly, and then people could vote or the company could choose. The mechanism was kind of different every time.
Yeah.
So me and my friends at the time, we actually won a couple, and we won a decent amount of cash. So that made me think, oh, I have a chance with this.
How much was like the first win? How much did you earn?
The first big one, it was $7,000. Ooh. Yeah. And we were like, this is crazy. And then the company put up another one, and we sent another one, and we won another $2,500. And then the third one was $1,500. So yeah, we kind of sat on the money. We ended up like chopping it, and then nothing really happened with that for a while. So I kind of just put the camera gear like in my closet. And at this point I'm in debt and I got to make money. So in that process, I kind of learned how to like write code because me and my friends were thinking of like trying to make a company. And then my girlfriend, now wife.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Alina, she basically said like, hey, people write code at the company I work at, and honestly, I feel you're just as smart as them. I feel like you can do this as a full-time job. So I got hooked up with a recruiting agency, and they pitched me around. And then my girl said, you know, knowing that you do that there and seeing what they do with my company, I feel like you could do this full-time for like a bigger company.
That's like tech, right? Like you're...
Yeah. So I'm kind of at this point, I'm like going from like really an hourly retail job to kind of writing code to then trying to get myself a job.
I guess why writing code? Was that, how'd you learn that? And was that, why'd you choose that direction if it was, because that's so left from creating content. That's damn near corporate.
Yeah. Writing code can be creative, and I liked it because to me, I just like solving problems. And, you know, the feeling of writing code is, honestly, it's similar to creative in that you're kind of engineering something to put it together to, like, you know, just to make something work. So it's easier to find work, I would say, and I ended up working for a ad agency. And they knew that I was really junior and I didn't really know much, but my manager, I have her to thank, she recognized that I just had like a lot of hustle and I was willing to learn anything. And very quickly, all the people there, they were able to grow me.
Yeah, I felt the same. I mean, I knew I had hustle growing up. I was like, last time I asked my parents for any money was 14. My dad was just telling me, like, man, don't, you know, ask his parents for money. You gotta kind of go and get it. So
yeah,
I was flipping shoes and mowing lawns, but I ain't gonna lie, I was finessing the lawns. When I used to like go around with I used to go around with this. I feel I sound so bad saying this, but I used to go around with this jar with a picture of my dog on it. And I would tell people I was like mowing lawns for dog surgery. And I would go to lawns that purposely were already cut.
Yeah.
And I would be like, yo, I'm trying to mow this grass. And like, oh, it's already cut, but I got my dog right here. And he needs help. And I would get so many donations, and I feel bad for that. So if anybody, you know, gave me money for their lawn, apologize. I will pay it back, and you can reach out to me. But I would do anything to make money, essentially, man.
Yeah.
And
just give him a free cut, man.
Yeah, oh, man, yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, there might be a lot of haircuts.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of cuts, but so I would do anything to kind of get this money, and I knew that hustle was in me, and I didn't know how it would be really translated into a job. As you know now, like most entrepreneurship lessons and most of the things you can acquire just come from trial and error. You can't teach the things that you're going to go through in a career. So when did content come into your life? And you guys were making the content for the competitions, it sounds like, but when was it like, all right, I'm Noel, I'm going to put this on the internet?
Man, so my first job as an engineer, a guy by the name of Andre Paradise. He's a, you know, veteran comic, but he also, he wrote code on the side just as a hustle. And he ended up working for us, and my manager, she knew that I had vocalized wanting to get into stand-up because I was always fucking around in front of the team. And she mentioned like, oh yeah, he does stand-up as well. So he comes into work and he, you know, we kind of get on right away, and he sees me cracking jokes and stuff, and he's like, hey man, you got the chat, you ever thought about being a stand-up? And I said, I've thought about it, but I've never done it. And he goes, all right, you wanna come see me do a show in a couple weeks? And then I say, yeah. And it turns out the show is an open mic, and it's his buddy's open mic. And they threw me up on the show. I was third.
Oh, they set you up for that?
Yeah.
When you got there, were you like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah, I was definitely scared as hell and bombed for the first time there.
Bombed?
Yeah, oh yeah.
How does that feel?
I think bombing is just, I don't know, I look at it kind of binary. I think I'm a computer in that way where when you're eating it, it's just not funny. And that in itself can be funny. But I think when I kind of just expected to bomb, and I kind of just went up there to get the feel. And so I think I always knew like I had the capacity to perform, I just needed time to like learn how to write.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, from that point forward, I stayed doing stand-up, and I recognized pretty quickly that doing stand-up, just grinding time and grinding mics was tough.
I guess that's the only way. It sounds like you're gonna get better. You have to get on the stage.
Yeah, but I weirdly had the thought of like, oh, because you know, Viners at the time were doing really well. So I thought, oh, maybe if I develop an online presence, my goal was like, you know, you do an open mic and you might get 3 minutes to 5 minutes. And my thought was, if I could prove that I'm funny through like a sketch or through a video, maybe a promoter would give me 7 minutes. That's literally all I was going for is, oh, if I can make content and someone would give me a chance to do a 7-minute set, then I felt I could maybe develop a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I would say right around 2014 is when I started making like videos and stuff. And
It started on Vine?
I started on Vine. and then kind of made my way to Instagram. Yeah, I mean, I missed a lot of the just development of like Twitter, when people always reminisce about Twitter being crazy, and I missed all that about social media. So coming into it, I was really like kind of clueless and like behind the game, because I really thought of things like in the early YouTube sense, like Derek comedy, like like Donald Glover, like even sketches by like The Whitest Kids You Know, or like Dormtainment. I thought about things in like a written way. So I think there was like a period where I was making a lot of sketches, but social media was really more about like knowing the person, and people they didn't really know me as the person. They just kind of knew like my sketches.
So when did you realize that was gonna make a shift in your content?
I figured it out pretty early, but it took me a long time to like warm up to the idea, because
Are you more introverted?
I can be, yeah, I can be. I think it really depends on the context. So I think sitting down in front of like just talking to a camera, it just felt weird to me. So I think I really was able, on an individual level, I was really able to open up like individual talking to the camera when I started streaming on Twitch. I think that was when I really gave it a chance to open up like by myself on screen. I was comfortable around other people, but like sitting by myself talking to the camera was
tough.
Was always really weird for me.
That's why I credit streamers so much now. It's like you're doing a live show for hours on camera. It's tough being alone and talking to the camera.
I think that was like a bit of a cheat code for me though, because I was comfortable doing stand-up, so I was able to kind of get in that headspace a little bit, because I knew people were watching what I was saying and I knew there was going to be a reaction. So I think Twitch is when it really started to, like, I really started to open up as a person to the camera. So that was honestly pretty recent. It took me a long time to get there.
From Vine, what was the next step?
So on Vine, I kind of got some recognition from both like to the people I knew in stand-up at the time, and then people on the internet were kind of recognizing me for just my Vines, because I would put a lot of production like value into them, because I had all that gear that I had bought.
Yeah, it came back into play.
Yeah, and I knew how to edit. So on Vine, I was like, my account never really grew to anything crazy. It like maxed out at like 100,000 followers, and that was like when it was gonna collapse. And at that point, people had like millions of followers. So my co-host for the TMG podcast, Cody, he actually followed me on Vine, and people were kind of pointing that out to me, like, yo, this dude Cody, he's got like a massive like following, he follows you. And so, funny story, I had taught myself to write code, and Cody and I had like spoken briefly through Vine, and then I ended up working at a company called Fullscreen, and one day Cody walks in, and he sits down in front of me, and it was the only empty chair on the floor because a guy had just quit. And Cody walks in, and he just got hired there as an engineer as well.
Wow.
So he looks over the computer, and I say, "What's up, man?" And he goes, and he kind of freaks out, and he's like, "What the fuck, you work here?" And I say, "Yeah." And then the rest is history, as far as like
was love at first sight.
Yeah. That's what all the fan fiction writers say.
Yeah. So I guess at that point, it's like you and Cody meet up, and it sounds like he's continuing content, and were you just all right with working a job? I know you didn't want to stop making content.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the perfect storm, because I was making sketches on my own, and then he and I started making sketches together. And really at that point, we were kind of doing what we're doing now, where we were making really 3 different types of media together. So on his channel, we were doing like, I guess you would call it reality, like vlogs. Yeah. And then on my channel, we're doing more like scripted stuff, so a lot of sketches. And then I took notice to the reaction format, and I said, hey, this is kind of blowing up. And then he goes, well, why don't we give it a shot? Because I had linked him some video of like a dude built a robot to give him a blowjob.
Jesus.
which is foul.
Yeah.
But he goes, oh, why don't we react to this? And I say, sure. So
You know, that idea is probably coming back into play now with AI and shit.
Oh, bro. Yeah. Yeah. It's well beyond that.
Bro, you want to know the first video I ever discovered you guys on?
Yeah.
Matty fucking smokes, dude.
Yeah, man.
That dude, oh my God, that shit had me crying. That was the first time I saw you and Cody on the internet.
Shout out to Matty and Liam.
Shout out to Matty fucking smokes, dude.
And his boy Liam. His boy Liam really drove it.
And all the baddies they had in the car at the time, man. Yeah, all the motion.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, shitload of motion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that video to this day, people still discover it. It's really funny.
It's great.
I'll walk down the street and I'll have like a college kid walk up to me and they'll go, "Yo, bro, you're from the Matty Smokes video, right?"
You're the Matty Smokes guy.
Yeah, and I always have to laugh and say, "Dude, that shit is like 7 years old. That is crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it's dividends, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pivotal piece of content. I mean, I think every creator you'll have that pivotal content moment where it's just like extremely viral and it changes the audience that you're gonna have.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of the next step, and TMG really blew up to a point where I didn't feel I could really focus on stand-up like I used to. Yeah. So I kind of focused on that, and at the time, I had a job. We both had jobs, and then Cody quit because he got his green card, and then eventually I got laid off from Full Screen, and he was like, "Hey, why don't we try to make all this media that we're making work? It'll be a struggle, but like we'll figure it out."
How are people living off of YouTube at this point? Like the landscape of living off content now is so different, a lot more accessible. So when you guys look at it, it's like, oh man, like we'd have to pretty much be doing this if it was gonna work.
So it's kind of like right place, right time because the adpocalypse had just happened.
What is that? I'm too young.
Yeah, so the adpocalypse was like basically advertisers had learned that their videos were being placed on videos that or their ads were being placed on videos that maybe weren't kind of like kosher with the brand.
Yeah, they're online.
So it kind of vaporized the earnings that people were making.
A lot of them were getting pulled.
So that kind of triggered us to a couple steps. So first, Cody kind of recognized that you can make money off of podcasting. So he was doing a solo podcast. Then I did a couple episodes with him and they really popped off. And that was because people knew us from That's Cringe. So people were saying, "Oh man, I wish you two would just do a full-time podcast together." So we decided to do that. And that kind of prompted us to start a Patreon. And there were other big podcasts at the time doing Patreon.
I mean, for people that may be watching and don't know what a Patreon is, can you explain it?
Patreon is a subscription service where you pay monthly for like,
paywall for content.
Yeah, paywall for content, which we also have for the studio, TMGstudios.tv.
It's like the first OnlyFans.
It really was. And it's funny because there were like, there was adult content on Patreon. Yeah. And so, neither here nor there, that prompted us to start our Patreon. And we started early and I'm always like grateful and thankful for the people who did that because they really enabled me to kind of take the leap and they replaced my job. And so...
Yeah, when did what was that the point where you knew to go all in? Or you decided to jump all in?
Yeah, and that was like so in 2017, I got laid off and I was kind of like trying to figure it out and then the Patreon started picking up and that's when I knew it.
Why did you get laid off?
Full Screen was it was being sold as a company. So
buyout, yeah.
And at that point, like my interest in writing code really like wasn't there anymore because I was doing stand-up. Cody and I were making a lot of content and it was like seeming possible that I could like get into making content. And even then, I was thinking, maybe it won't be my face. Maybe I'll just be like a producer or like a director.
You were cool being behind the scenes?
Part of me was, yeah. Because I only really saw myself like at the forefront in stand-up. And that's why I was like comfortable shooting jokes with other people because it didn't really put the emphasis on me as the person. And then even vlogging like kind of helped me get around that because I could like be behind the camera or I was like doing it with people. So, but But in the back of my mind, I think I always really wanted to come back to stand-up. I just needed to find like the right time to do it.
Yeah. How did you know stand-up was a dream for you?
I think I discovered that at like 11 or 12, and I watched a lot of Comic View and
who was your favorite comedian growing up? Did you have an inspiration? Because we all have like that one guy where it's like this dude convinced me.
This is gonna sound like a cop-out, but I promise it's not. It was really just, so I'd watch a lot of Comic View on BET, and I'd watch a lot of Comedy Central sets. And I just stayed watching and consuming stand-up like really all my life.
Were you always the funny guy in the group?
I think I tried to be. Honestly, I would say some of my friends growing up were funnier than me, and I wished I was as funny as them. But I think being around guys like that, it kind of sharpened me to the point.
Of course. Yeah. You get around people that are better than you at, what you want to do, and it either goes one way or the other. You either get inspired and you boss up, or you feel inferior and you shell up.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you made the most out of just having good company around.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my guys growing up, they're hilarious, man.
What would your advice be to people now creating and how to sustain more longevity?
Yeah, I would say now it's the toughest landscape ever. The algorithm is more brutal than ever. There's more people making media than ever. And I think there are two long-term things that always apply. And that's one, really try to pay attention to what people are engaging you for. Did they engage you for something you're doing or who you are as a person? And if it's just something you're doing, that has an expiration date.
People want to champion others.
Yeah. And I think people want to feel like they're connected to what you're doing rather than just like the action itself.
Absolutely.
And then I think the biggest thing I would say, and I don't know, it feels cheesy to say out loud, but I've heard others say this, and I think it's very true that the people choose. So you can't force attention, you can't force fame, you can't like make people love you. You can try, but at a point, it becomes obvious that that's what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And the people choose. So don't ever feel entitled to your popularity. Because people can decide to just stop paying attention to you if they want to.
Well, you see it in so many other places, like people will choose to love you one day, they'll choose to hate you the next, and it's out of your control. You only control what you make, you only control your output and your reaction to any given situation. So, I always live with it in the back of my head, this isn't guaranteed. Mm-hmm. I'll make the most of it while it's here. Yep. And I try not to take it for granted ever.
No, you can't, man. I think Burr said it, people build you up to burn you down. So yeah, you got to remember that once people build you up, they build you up long enough to really get to know you, and then that's when they can be really critical about you.
It is so important to balance what's for the internet and what's not.
Yeah.
How did you learn that, or did you always know, all right, I'm going to keep this for myself?
I think I always knew. Yeah. I think there's things from the beginning that I always decided to keep for myself. And I think I've done a good job like trying to maintain that. And yeah, even the people around me, they recognize that, what they do and don't want out of life. And, I've had people tell me that type of attention they would never want in their own life. So, yeah, I think I always just had that.
Yeah, could we get an ethnicity review?
Maybe.
I'll ask later. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think at this point, if you know, you know, and I just think it's funny if you don't.
I don't, but I'm gonna find out soon.
Yeah, you can guess.
I'm gonna find out soon.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
No, yeah. I mean, I might do something. To confirm.
I'll figure it out. I'm looking for the clues. The hair tells me. I'm gonna tell you what, the hair tells me a lot.
Yeah, it might.
I've cut a lot of heads.
Yeah.
I know where this one originates from.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing about your barbers, you guys didn't know. They're racist. Just kidding.
Easy to identify people. I can tell a lot. I got a question, because I know you talked about Patreon and the podcast really starting. When do you know, as a creator, when it's time to pivot into a different idea?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I can answer that now, finally. I'd say for me, you could tell the people that watched you, they get older like you do, and their taste, their influence, their lifestyle, it evolves. And I think trying to pay attention to what they're evolving into, and you can't be all those things. So I think you got to pick what lane you kind of want to land in, and what aspect of all these people you think like resonates with you. Like I'll say all the people that know me from the Matty Smokes video, they all may not like stand-up, but I know I love doing stand-up. So I kind of want to align with the people that enjoy stand-up. And similarly, it's like not everyone that knew me from like That's Cringe or like knows me from the podcast, they may not like, motorsport or cars, but I know I like that too. So maybe for some people, the people around you, it's hard for them to see what you're going for. So I think sometimes it can be, you're kind of alone with your ideas and your conviction. And if you're making media, like definitely try to strike the balance of the thing that keeps people coming back, but leave enough money in your pocket to try something new, so that there's no pressure. I think maybe the toughest part is continuing to like look at yourself and, just continuously like trying to motivate and self-inspire and keep believing. I think that can get tough.
Yeah, you've been doing this for almost a decade.
Yeah, man.
So how are you? I'm sure you went through many pockets of this is tough, this isn't maybe working at this moment. How are you recharging and staying inspired?
I think a big part of that is I try to keep a pretty straightforward lifestyle. So as I've made money, I've really put a lot of focus on just not doing anything crazy and just tucking it away. And I think in that regard, it's given me the ability to take time off and think and really understand like what I want for myself. And really over the last 10 years, I feel that all the choices I've made have come to a point now where I'm really able to pursue the things I love. And so in that way, because I've given myself moments to really reflect and think about what I want to think about what I want to do, I see the next 10 years the same way I did the first 10 years, where I'm really motivated to keep going because I know it's going to be a lot of projects that I have a lot of love and like interest in.
Yeah, the reflection is so important because I didn't do it much. I've only been creating content full time maybe the last 3 going on 4 years.
Yeah, man.
And when you speed run, essentially, it's a lot happening fast.
Yeah.
And there's been moments that I've been extremely full circle that I wish in that time I could have been just aware that, this is something I pray for in this exact moment, but I'm focused on making it. I gotta make it. It gotta get to the next one. What's next? And I really wish I could have sat down in those moments and reflected more.
Yeah.
So changing the pace has been super important for me, for my mental health, for my physical health, and for the enjoyment that I think I'm just gonna have doing this moving forward. But
yeah, it's funny hearing you talk like this because those first 3 or 4 years, 5 years was like that for myself and really everyone around us. It was like a lot of go, go, go. I think there's a lot of power in just taking a step back and thinking about what you're doing, because if you're slow to cook, then you're slow to cook. And it seems obvious, but I tell myself that at times because I think I'm the type of person that likes to take time to think. Yeah,
for this project specifically, I tried to make this happen over a year ago, and I did it, and it was the most successful moment of my life. This video did the first pilot I did with Anna Lee did 1 million views the first day.
Yeah.
And more than anything, it wasn't a blessing, it was a curse because it put me into the mode of, I have to keep this going no matter what.
Yeah.
And it drove me insane. It forced me to go into my first manic episode where I had got diagnosed last year with bipolar 1 disorder. And I was looking at this shit as do or die. I lost so much sleep. I was so unhealthy, literally lost my mind. And I was looking at this as, if I don't do this, I'll be stuck to this one piece of content for the rest of my life. I'll be so boxed in. And to look at creating as it is like I said, do or die. To look at like I'm creating this because it's gonna make or break me is not the way I would look at any creation now.
No.
Ever. Like it has to be because I solely love it and believe it, and not because I need to do this. So I forced that to happen, and God told me, no, you're gonna go on my pace, you're gonna go on my plan. And it took me a whole year of recovery for myself mentally, for myself physically, and to just do it the right way. Because if you wanna go fast, you go alone. If you wanna go far, you go together.
Yeah.
I learned very quick, I'm gonna run out of steam running by myself. But if I could walk with some other people, I may be able to go further.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna make everything so much more enjoyable. You gotta have the right people around you. And
Yeah.
what has been your proudest moment so far?
I think a big one was last year when I did my, I did a big theater run. And that was really putting myself out there, just like, just an hour set, just me, and filming my special and just putting it out for the world to see, and continuing like my stand-up journey, and really digging down into something that I've always wanted to do. And just last night, I finally got to do the main room at the Comedy Store, and
Come on, congratulations,
yeah,
bro.
thank you, bro. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, you know, just so I think I always have like, I think I'm always trying to create goals for myself and things to strive for, and really literally every year I could point to, you know, bucket list things.
We're gonna take a quick break from this episode to thank the sponsor of DeepCut, Factor. Get chef-prepared meals on the table in 2 minutes with Factor's ready-to-eat meals so you can get back to soaking in that summer sun. Factor meals eliminate the hassle of prepping, cooking, or cleaning, so you can simply just heat up and savor the good stuff. Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, small bites, and many more, so I can keep going no matter what's on my schedule. Factor offers options that make it easy for me to stick to my health and my fitness goals. One of my personal favorite meals is the herb crusted chicken, so I get all the nutrients that I need to help me bulk up for the summer. The best part about it is it's always fresh, never frozen, so I get that feeling of a home cooked meal every time I gotta heat one up. Factor cuts down on my grocery trips and my cooking time, so I got way more time to get out there, connect with the people, and give out some free haircuts. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code DEEPCUT50 to get 50% off your first box and then 20% off your next month's order. That's code DEEPCUT50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and then 20% off your next month's order. Now let's get back to the episode.
Bro, it's been impressive to see the growth. 10 years is a long time to be a creator, bro.
Yeah.
It's like NBA.
Yeah.
You know, it's like NBA, it's like NFL, man. You can come and go in a short amount of years.
Yeah.
You know, but you and Cody have built something amazing together, man, and individually yourselves. So
Yeah.
man, it's been dope to watch, bro. I'm such a big fan and honored to share this moment with you.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
What does the future look like for TMG, for you? I know you guys have...
Yeah, we have the network. I think
network.
We'll keep growing that, and it's exciting, man. We got a couple new shows that, you know, are on the way, and people we're partnered with, and just people we're excited to work with. And then I think individually, stand-up I'm really stoked on, because stand-up is something that like you kind of get to sit back and write and really work, and you can kind of craft it and be proud of it, and it's something that you can continue to do, and
it doesn't expire.
Yeah. I think stand-up is always going to be, I don't know, I think it's always going to be entertaining to people. It's always going to be fun to just like get in a room and watch someone put their ideas out there, and maybe they're funny, maybe they're not, but there's something that's pretty raw about it that I think doesn't ever go away. So yeah, I definitely see stand-up as being like an individual focus for the next, 5 years at least. And then I think maybe later on I'd, come back around to like directing, I think. In my later years. That's...
we watched some of your shorts, bro. Some of your shorts are really good.
Wow, thanks, man. Yeah, they're, I enjoy it. Directing is a lot of fun.
You gotta go do something with this cut.
What do you think?
You can't go straight home.
Oh,
that's all I know.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Nah, you gotta go do something with this one. You can't just go home.
Yeah, because then and my lady's gonna tear me up.
Yeah, real fast.
That's the problem when you get married, man. A married woman, she wants to devour you.
Yeah.
That's why men are afraid of marriage, because they don't have the stamina.
Yeah. Hey, man, you gotta be real with yourself. And you gotta be real honest too.
Yeah.
Like, man, I know my capacities now.
So for all the young guys, don't think you're better than marriage. It's because you're not man enough.
Yeah, how long you been married?
Only 2 years. I don't know how I'm gonna make it the rest of this.
Ooh.
Coming up on 3, but I don't have anything left in my body. She's taking it all.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop.
Not with this haircut.
No.
That's what you did. You just sentenced me to 7 hours.
Real bad. Yeah, real bad.
Yeah, 7 hours at least.
7 hours is really impressive. Yeah, I'll be watching Cameron's show, It Is What It Is, and they got that pink horsepower on.
Yeah. I'm gonna need like 10 gallons of pink horsepower.
I'll be at the gas stations, they got that blue Rhino.
Yeah.
All types of shit.
I'm gonna be on all that. It's a lifestyle.
Either in or you out. How do you get, yeah, either in or you're out.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah. That's what she said to me on our wedding day. She said, you're either in or you're out. Because I'm a drainer. So she said, I'm a drainer. This is for life. And I said, I'm in.
All the way, yeah. Wow.
Drain me. I do.
Wow, that's impressive. It truly is, bro. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Dude, 2 years?
Yeah.
Oof. You got a long life ahead, man. Open your mouth real quick.
Like, what do you mean?
This guy's a joke, man. So
Vic told me to open my mouth and I couldn't stop twitching.
yeah.
No, don't put that in.
Nah, we're putting it in.
Now Vic wants to put it in.
That's insane, bro. Why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? We got the last segment of the show. This is called Quick Cuts.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. Worst trend in content.
Ooh. Anything with Taylor Swift.
Ooh, you said on my show, they're gonna kill us.
All right. Reset.
No. If you believe that, stand on it. But I love the Swifties, all right? That's a very fine line on the internet.
Swifties, just don't dox me, okay?
Most embarrassing moment you had on the internet.
There's been plenty. Out of all the things I've put out on the internet, I think back to some of just my early content, and I'm like,
Tough watch.
you did that.
Have you reacted to any of your old content?
No.
Hey, we need it.
No.
We need it.
We don't need it.
You don't need it. We need it.
We don't need it.
First celebrity crush. Childhood.
Oh, first celebrity crush, childhood, hold on. Might have been Britney Spears.
One thing Cody does that annoys you.
I've said this before. Something that Cody does that annoys me is the thing that he's done. I think he could have been standing on the street during 9/11 and he still would have been on his phone.
Ooh. I ain't gonna lie, that's me. I got a real bad habit.
Yeah. I think Cody could have been standing below the plane as it was going into the tower and he still would be on his phone.
It's locked in.
Yeah. I think I could have just been shot. I could have had a 12 gauge shell in my shoulder and I'm like, dude, I'm bleeding out, and he'd still be on his phone.
Oof. Cody, we gotta, what do you think his screen time is? It's probably nuts.
Cody's screen time, I think, is 100,000 on everything.
24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. I don't think he's
24
ever
hours a
off
day.
it.
Would you rather know when you're gonna die or how you're gonna die?
Ooh. I think when, because how would almost be predictive. Because then if the how is something generic, then I'm always gonna be thinking it could be this. I think that would create perpetual anxiety, but if I knew when, then it's like, all right, I could plan.
Yeah, how would be crazy. We were talking about earlier, it's like, yo, if you know you're gonna die, like walking on the sidewalk, every time you get on the sidewalk, you'll be
a lot of anxiety,
hand on a swivel.
Yeah, or if it's very unique and that starts to happen, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. It's
now. Yeah.
Would you rather be blind or dickless?
Damn. I'm gonna go penisless. Sans penis. Because I'm married, then my wife can't eat me up anymore. Then I go home and be like, no drainage now. Now we just have to hang out and talk. You can't just have your way with me.
No more draining. Wow. All right, what song would you play at your funeral?
I'll probably play something scary. I just heighten the tension, just something like horrendously like scary. Yeah, I don't know what. There's a lot to choose from. Maybe I'll just take like a soundtrack from a horror film and just play that full volume. Yeah, drive up the tension.
Yeah. Freak everybody out.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to like make a video like, yo, play back and fuck with somebody. But
yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I honestly think I'll do
As
that.
you made a video, you call somebody out, yo, I'm gonna launch you.
Yeah.
Get fucking ready.
Maybe I'll do that. I'll make a video for my funeral and I'll air out everyone's personal business.
Ooh. That's tough. What are you gonna do to me now?
Yeah. Or I'll tell them my will is somewhere and they gotta go, like all of my will, they gotta go find it.
Is there a comment that was left up under one of your videos that you still think about?
Yeah, actually there is. There's a comment from an early That's Cringe where I was extremely hungover and I was like just not in it. And there was a comment that said, oof, Cody, you gotta make these with someone else. This guy has no personality. Where am I now, bitch?
That hurts. So every once in a while you get one that really hurts.
Yeah.
I don't have a comment that stuck out, but man, I went to the UFC presser one time. The UFC like brought me out to the fight, and it was Israel Adesanya, and it was Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
And it was in New York. It was the one Izzy lost at, but I wanted me to ask a question at the presser. And like I'm known for the deep questions, and I get it. I know what I'm here to do, but I remember specifically asking the dude from the UFC to do the social, like, yo, what kind of question should I ask? I've never been to a UFC fight. Should I ask like the fight question to get the crowd hype, or should I like ask a typical, deep question? He was like, bro, go deep, bro. Izzy's a deep guy, dog. I promise. Like, he'll love it. I was like, are you sure? He's like, dude, do it. It'll be a good moment. I was like, all right, I don't know if this is the environment for that, but I'll do it. Yeah. So I just asked like, what are you proud about that like a lot of people don't know? And I go up there and I asked the shit and it was dead quiet after. Yeah. And the first thing that I heard from the crowd is, what the fuck kind of question is that? Yeah. And everybody started booing. I was like, oh, fuck, dude. And then Izzy gave me the most bullshit answer. And then by the time I walked back to my chair from the mic, I was already clipped on Twitter getting fried.
Yeah.
Worst moment.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry you went through that.
No, tough, all right? Yeah, no, that sucked. You and Cody get into the octagon. What happens?
I think we would build up crazy hype. I think we'd sell a lot of tickets. I think we walk to the center and we just dap each other up and we walk out. We've talked about doing that.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, but if you're actually asking us fighting, I think Cody has spent more years like training athleticism, so I think he'd have me there, but he can't dance. His footwork is dog shit. So I think I could win by purely movement.
Yeah.
And never actually hitting him. I think I could just tire him out.
You think you're more jiu-jitsu or boxing?
I would probably say my best bet would be, grappling. I think that'd probably be my best bet, because come on, man, I'm not stinging anybody with these. So,
bro, I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
It's been amazing to watch you
journey.
For having me,
it's
so special to finally meet my twin.
This is great, man. Yeah.
Get you the mirror. Let me know how you like the cut.
Lean forward.
Are you seeing it?
Oh, shit. Shit. Let me tell you, first of all, I genuinely love it.
Yeah.
Killed it. But now I'm scared.
You know what's about to happen.
I'm getting drained.
For sure. Empty tonight.
Emptied. My barber, Jose, don't freak out, bro. I'm coming back soon.
Jose, yeah, I got you. I don't want to keep him, dog.
Yeah, man. No, it was great, man. Thanks for having me.
Bro,
it was
thank
awesome.
you, bro.
Yeah.
What's up? I want to give a big thank you for letting me on the show. And if I don't say that, they told me they're going to waterboard me. So come see me on tour, noelmillerlive.com. I'm all over America this year. Telling jokes, man. Looking cute. And I obviously had a great time. Big shout out to Vic. And everybody watching. Appreciate you.
Yo, just wanted to thank my twin for pulling up to the show. Noel, thank you for the moment, man. It's been inspiring to watch you as a fan first, watching the career grow. You're a pioneer to a lot of people that are on the internet now, especially ones that are trying to make a living off of it. Thought I, gave you a pretty good haircut. I think it looked good on you, man, and this was special. So thank you for everything. I appreciate you being here, man. Stay planted, everybody.